Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Liz and welcome back to Omnifactory. In the last episode, we were working on our new factory area and finishing up making the electric blast furnace, which, well, we couldn't get to work. We don't have enough power to get this thing to work yet. And we're going to try to fix that today. We're going to get there today with that. But I brought all the machines over, and just a real quick kind of aside, I want to mention that I had not been uploading anything for the past couple of days. I got a little sick, and my throat has not been 100%, so talking for long periods of time was not fun. I was coughing a lot, so nothing major, but just kind of, happens. I get sick sometimes, especially this time of year. Allergies and all that kind of fun stuff really messes with me. But yeah, I did take some time to make a basement, so I cleared out this area and literally just covered up anything underneath, and eventually we will probably make another basement level, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't decided on that yet. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but at the very least having one will be great. Anyways, last time we tried to get the blast furnace to work so we can make some aluminum, and that was not being cooperative because we just don't have enough power. And kind of the big thing with that is if we want to get more power, we need to start storing RF. That's how we're going to get this thing to work a little bit better, is instead of having this run all the time, let's just get a battery that we can fill up that will supply this with power all the time whenever it needs it. And that's kind of the idea. So we're going to work towards that today. Was there anything else I did last time? Not really. Or I guess between episodes. Not really. I don't think I did too much mining or anything like that. I was mostly working on clearing out that area. And all that kind of fun stuff. So, by the way, there is a lot of materials here. I have double compressed dirt and all sorts of stuff. But okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, let's take a look at the quest book. There is a couple of things that we're going to want to start working towards. And the first thing is capacitors. Basic RF capacitors. And then these will allow us to make, and it's right here, the Capacitor Bank, which is actually not that expensive. We're going to need some dark steel and some basic RF capacitors, plus a power buffer, which is just some iron and red alloy with a block of redstone. Nothing actually too difficult there. I'm not entirely sure what the power buffer is, by the way. An Omni buffer. Yeah, I don't really know what this stuff is. And how difficult? Advanced capacitor, electrical steel plates, energetic alloy would be the sticking point for that one. So we could theoretically upgrade that pretty easily. But we're going to be making basic capacitor bank. And that's going to require 4 basic capacitors. In order to get that, well, we have 2 options. One is electrical steel nuggets, vacuum tube, and tin wire. Or if we can manage to get a capacitor, we can't make the SMD capacitor. That requires an assembler, and that is not going to happen for a while. But if we can get this other capacitor, we can get 2, and then just 2 recipes of this rather than 4 recipes of this. And currently, electrical steel is a little bit of a problem. We don't have any. We don't really have any electrical steel. We could always make more, but like we need 4 dark steel for the capacitor bank itself. And if I can just get away with making 1 electrical steel, which we can do, that would be nice. So that's kind of the plan. We're going to need 4 of these, 1 of these, 4 of these. This episode might get broken up a little bit because I might need to go do some mining and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully not. But here's the thing. What does it take to make this capacitor? Can we make it? Well, we get 4 of them from one craft, which is really nice. If we had an assembler, it would be pretty actually easy to make them. But rubber sheets, easy. We can get those. Fine silver wire. Now, I don't believe we have any silver currently. Oh, no, we do. So we have some silver. So that's not a problem. But we're going to need tin alloy foil. Tin alloy. I thought that was just tin. So tin alloy is just iron and tin. That's actually really easy. So that's not too bad. And we can make the foil. Let's add that to the list. The foil is not that bad to make because... No, the foil is the hard part. The fine silver wire is actually pretty easy. We can make that in a wire mill from silver wire. But this tin alloy foil requires a cluster mill. And so this is doable. This is something we can make. It just requires a bunch of electric motors and some circuits and a machine hall. So that's what we're going to start off with. The problem might be getting all this stuff together. So we're going to need 3 plates. We're going to need 8 plates plus 3, so that's 11 plates of wrought iron. And let's go get things set up so that we can start making this stuff. The electric motors are actually not too bad, but we're going to have to make a lot of them. That's all my supplies for building. So we're going to need the wire mill. We're also going to need the alloy smelter and the compressor. Don't currently need the electrolyzer, so we're going to set these up just right here. And this stuff will get moved 100%. So do something like that. This guy is going to need some coal, but wire mill, we'll get to that later. Basic compressor, those go in there, and we'll get those guys in there. And then let's go grab some coal and get this all started. So luckily there is a coal vein right directly underneath us, so that's really nice. But I didn't mine it all out. I just kind of covered it up. Whoops. But that's not that big of a deal. We'll worry about that later. Anyways, let's get some coal in there. And obviously this thing we're probably going to need more dynamos, and we could always make other dynamos, but for now we're just going to stick with what we have. There is the electrical steel we'll need. The wrought iron is almost done. We might as well get the dark steel if we can. And aren't we also going to need, yeah, red alloy. So let's get those next, I guess. Wire mills we'll come back to later. So let's just get the cluster mill for now. And we'll get that. And then we just need the 10 cables. That is red alloy. Do I not have any more tin cables? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so 10 cables. We just need to grab some tin. I always click the wrong one. I don't know why, but I do. It's kind of annoying sometimes. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this taken care of. We're gonna need some tin cables. And for the most part, like if we need other things, it's not that big of a deal. But there is the tin wires. We'll need some rubber. If we have to go chop down all the trees, it's not a big deal. Let's see, wires, circuits, wires. Yeah, we're gonna need more sticky resin, it looks like. Unless we have some more over here. No. Okay. Not a big deal. Sticky resin is actually probably one of the easiest things to get our hands on. Strangely enough, you need a lot of it, but like you get quite a bit from just chopping down these trees. Like one tree and we already have 10. And eventually I think there's going to be ways for us to get more out of everything. Let's go ahead and just chop this one down. And we'll go ahead and replant these guys. Get an extra one, and then we need to go sleep. By the way, I made a test world to kind of test some things and was kind of exploring things. There are no spawners in the subways, as far as I can tell. But strangely enough, there are other structures that we could see, including like highways. Some of it looks really cool, not gonna lie. The Lost Worlds, or whatever the city, Lost Cities maybe, whatever it's called, is actually really cool. So plates, we're gonna need some plates. Let's get some wires, and then there is the LV machine hall. So there is step 1. Let's go ahead and put that in here. And then we're going to need 2 circuits plus a bunch of, oh boy, plus a bunch of electric motors, which requires copper wires and 10 cables. All right, so you know what? All that stuff we just did, let's just make all that we can. And let's see, if we need 6 motors, we're going to need 12 cables. So that's 6 of those, and fine copper wires times 24, but 1 wire for each, so we need 6 wires, so 3 copper. That's bronze. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we'll have to process the 1 twice, but that's okay. And I will. This shouldn't take too long, so I'm not going to worry about cutting away for now. But let's just make sure that has a little bit more power. That will give us everything we need. While we're over here, for this, we're also going to need this 10 alloy plates. So we're going to need a 10 alloy, and that is just a single 10 with a single iron, and we need some iron plates as well. Okay, that's running low on power, but that's okay. We're going to need 1 more iron plate, I do believe. And then we're going to need some iron rods, but that is just going to be crafted, I think. And then a couple circuits, which should not be too much of a problem. So iron plate. Did that just run out of power? Alright, let's break that wire. And you know what, let's just break that wire. Let that get a little bit of power. And then we will continue working on that. Whoops. Okay, let's finish the wires. And there should be 1 more. Yeah, 1 more craft. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more coal in there. But yeah, once we make the cluster mill, then things will be a little bit better. We're also going to need the 10 wires, 10 cables. Attach that? Probably not yet. No. Let's let that get some more power. In fact, let's just throw all of the coal in there so it can start gathering up power. Then we'll worry about everything else later. Unfortunately, it's just too much processing. That should be enough for this last one. Okay, so there is all the things we should need for the electric motors. Now we are going to need a good bit of redstone, but we'll get to that soon enough. So wires, we need 12, and then electric motors. So we have that and that, and then we're going to need 3 iron rods per, so we're going to need 18 iron rods. And that is not too bad. Get a couple of blocks. And 6 more. Okay, so we need another file, which we do have one in here, so we're just gonna steal that one for now. So 18, and then we split those into 3. We need 6 of those to be the magnetic ones, so we're gonna need some more redstone. Nothing too major there. And then that should be the motors, right? 6 of those. 6 motors. And then all we need for the cluster mill is 2 more. That's actually not too bad. By the way, I don't think... Let's take a look real quick. The iron rods, the next best way to make those is a lathe. Or an extruder. Extruders we don't get until MV. Lathes, we can make a basic one soonish. But I don't know when that's going to be. Actually, might be a quest already. We just haven't done it. Fluid solidifier, macerator. I don't see it on here yet, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's on here, because this is still some LV stuff as well. But we're making the cluster mill. That's the important thing. So last thing we need is some circuits. We're going to need 2 wrought iron plates. So we're going to need 2 wrought iron. And we need to make those plates. So let's go do that. It has a little bit of power now, so we can presumably get 2 wrought iron plates. We're also going to need some other stuff. And once we have a bit of, let's see, we're going to need 2 more iron plates. And one of these turned into things, and, you know, the dark steel turned into plates and all that kind of stuff. Let's get rid of the sapling. Okay. So, circuits, we have the 2 wrought iron plates. We're going to need 2 resistors. Or 4 resistors in total. And we just need more red alloy wires. So that should not be too bad. Let's go get a piece of red alloy. I probably will, once we get a little bit more settled with power, what I'll probably end up doing is just making a bunch of things. And something else that we'll want to do is probably move most of those crafting tables over here somewhere. And then we'll get that kind of settled a little bit better so that we can a little bit more easily just make everything without having to run back and forth. This is going to be a temporary kind of setup, but I realize we need 2 more, we need 3 more, don't we? So we can make 1 circuit. No, we can't. What are we missing? We have... Oh, we have glass tubes, not vacuum tubes. So we need more fine wire, which I think there's some in here. 2, 3, and then we're going to need some more paper. That's not a problem. Do I have that recipe in here? No, but we probably could put it in there. And then we need 1 more vacuum tube. So we're going to need more fine wire, fine copper, and some more red alloy. And it's just kind of minor things. Because resources are relatively fairly common to get most things. Nope, I ran out of fuel. Because it's pretty easy to get a lot of the different resources. Iron is plentiful, and pretty much everything's plentiful if you just kind of go get it. It's probably going to be beneficial to us just to make extra stuff. And if we run out of iron, for example, or whatever, it's a lot easier just to go back and get it later. Alright, so we're going to need this tin foil. That is going to require a tin alloy plate. So let's go ahead and make one of those. Copper gets turned into the fine copper wire. And then we should be able to make all this stuff. So a lot of work, a lot of crafting, but we'll get the cluster mill and then hopefully we'll get a power source. So let's put those in here. Wires. We can make 2. We need 1 more. So let's go ahead and sleep. Then we're going to eat, make a new lumber axe, and then grab some more resin. Eventually, I should point out, we'll be able to use the rubber wood to extract a little bit of sticky resin. But I'm not entirely sure what's going to be the best way to get it. If we can, probably centrifuging it. But we'll kind of play that one by ear. Not entirely sure how it'll work. Anyways, let's go ahead and make... that's a stone lumber axe. You know what? Let's make 2 stone lumber axes. Why not? Save on the iron for now. Which, go ahead and put that away, and that away, and that away. We'll need a little bit more stuff, but we'll kind of get what we need as we, well, need it. So, let's go ahead, chop down some trees. Ooh, lag spike. That's uncommon. This series has actually been pretty good about, even though it is, what is it, 1.12 mod, my computer can handle it pretty well, which is good. Still planning on getting, upgraded parts, but just haven't gone and got them yet. But get all that stuff eventually. Anyways, we almost have the cluster mill. Once we have the cluster mill, we'll make the foil, we'll get the capacitor thing, and yeah, there is a stack plus a little bit of sticky resin. We're going to put some of it in here for the substrates, and then most of that's going to get turned into rubber sheets because rubber sheets are much more useful. Alright, there is the wires. Make that, and then 2 primitive circuits. Perfect. And then that is the cluster mill. So that is a quest. We'll get some pennies. And then it wants us to make this capacitor. So that's what we're going to do. We need some rubber sheets. And this might be a good recipe to put in here. Fine silver wire and tin alloy foil. So we're going to need some silver. Just 1 piece. And then we hook up this machine. We should probably grab a little bit more coal. And we're almost to the point where we're not going to need to constantly fuel the steam dynamo to get power. But we'll eventually, I might end up making another dynamo off camera so that we can fill up all these things a little bit better. And we're just going to put this here. So the cluster mill gets that. And we're going to power that a little bit so this gets power. And that will give us the tin foil. I guess alloy foil, whatever. Silver goes in here. We're going to turn this into nuggets because that's what we're going to need. And then that gets turned into the silver foil. And then I think we're going to be good enough to make the capacitors. We're going to need some more tin wires. We'll get those in a moment. But we'll get the yellow capacitor looking thing before we get the EnderIO capacitor. But we put that stuff in there. And there are the capacitors. So that is another 5 cents. But more importantly, that's going to enable us to make the RF capacitor a little bit easier. And let's go ahead and put that in here for now. So actually, vacuum tube would be nice we could put that in here as well. Let's lock that one and then put that in here. So electrical steel, we'll need some more vacuum tubes, which means we're going to need more glass, the capacitors, and then we'll get the other stuff. So we'll need a little bit more glass. That's not too much of a problem. Then we're going to need... Is it the vacuum tubes? No, we don't need the vacuum tubes. We want this one. So all we need is the tin wire. That's why I made everything like I did. So let's get like a little bit of tin wire. And then we'll have the capacitors. Then we'll be able to make the capacitor bank and everything will be great. I mean, that is enough to make what we want, but we're going to go ahead and get more because tin wires are good to have. And then eventually we'll kind of look into more and more stuff. One thing I don't know if we have yet, we should have some conductive iron things, but we need 2 sets of those. We could make more, but we just need 2 sets for now. Some conductive iron wires should be up here. We do have a little bit of that, so we can kind of hook things up. But that makes EnderIO machines available to us. Let's go ahead and claim that. And the only thing we care about right now is the basic capacitor bank. So that is going to be crafted like so. Power buffer, 4 capacitors, and there is the basic capacitor bank. Perfect. Get more pennies. There's also Grains of Infinity, which requires you to go down to bedrock and light a bunch of fires on the bedrock. If you're creative, it's possible to automate this with some of the later machines. Yes, you can automate this, but I don't know how useful that will be, to be perfectly honest. Anyways, with the capacitor bank, what we can do is we can grab some wires and we can start setting things up so that we can store power. And storing power means we can potentially start using the blast furnace. And the way we're going to do this is we're just going to move this guy and this whole system over one whole block. Max input is unfortunately only 1,000, and we can output their input here. And for now, we're just going to set this up with a conduit. I'm going to move this stuff later, but I don't know how I want things quite yet. No, I wanted that the other way. Do I have to like place it like so? Water and all that. So let's get this extract always active. Insert. Let's let that fill up with water first. But this is going to start giving this power, which is going to start filling this up. And once this gets filled up, we'll be able to hook up the blast furnace and not really worry about it. But I want this to get more water first. And I can add more steam dynamos or other dynamos. There are a few other variations of dynamos. We have the magmatic, which requires does require some dark bimetal gears, which we might be able to get because we have a little bit of that stuff kind of laying around. But kind of the bigger thing that uses lava actually is pretty useful. Produces quite a bit of power per bucket of lava versus this guy produces considerably less per like block of coal. There's the reactant dynamo, which We need to get energetic alloy first, but this we can use various liquids and reactants to make a lot of power. Some of the things are very easy to come by, so like netherwort and glowstone could be good. And then there's the numismatic. Not entirely sure how to pronounce that. That requires vibrant, and that might be doable. I don't know. Temperature is 1700. Okay, so that is doable at this point. It's not cheap, but it's definitely feasible. But this runs on coins, and not the money that we've been getting, but different coins or emeralds. And kind of the more it's worth, the more it produces. So EnderIO coins produces 150 1,000 RF per like use, whereas just an emerald, if we can get a mass quantity of emeralds, is like 200,000 RF. So it's not bad, but definitely some of the harder ones to use are the better ones that produce more. So we might just stick with steam for the time being, but making another steam or two probably would be a bad idea. Anyways, I can put all this coal in there and just not worry about it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, yeah, that is going to produce plenty of stuff. The infinite water source, I believe we can make better ones. We have that, we have that, we have that, and we have that. So let's take a look at the quest book real quick and see if there's anything else we want to work on today, or if we want to call the episode here. But I think what I want to do, I don't really want to make another machine, but the charger is something that we could probably do. We have Certus quartz. We need 5 dark steel. Do I have access to 5 dark steel to make plates? I do. Okay, so we're going to make a charger. We're going to make the charger which would allow us to get into applied energistics. But we're going to need some Certus quartz. And I'm not entirely sure. Certus quartz. Compressing Certus quartz dust. Okay. But it's not that type, is it? No. So, Certus quartz dust, we can get by electrolyzing quartz sand, pulverizing quartzite, or tiny piles. Pulverizing other things. This looks like one of the annoying things that, like, we need a different machine to actually do anything with it. Because we have quartzite. I've found quartzite and even Certus quartz, I think. Yeah, Certus quartz ore, which we can smelt into the Certus quartz, but we can't do anything with that unless we had the compactor, which that's not happening. The machine frames require stainless steel and all sorts of things. So we need to pulverize it first. And we can pulverize the ores directly as well. Flawless Certus quartz. Exquisite Certus quartz. How do you even get that? I don't even know. Alright, so there is blocks and even the crystals. So we can pulverize the crystals and that would work. The pulverizer, unfortunately, is more work than I want to put in for right now. So we can't do that. What else do we have? Let's see. We can make the conductive iron jetpack. Which I don't really care about. We don't need to fly. And then robotic arms. We could make one of those. That's also a lot more work than I want to put in right now. So we're going to wait on that stuff. And you know what we're going to do instead? we're going to get some more coal. And can we do it? Can we make one piece of aluminum in the blast furnace? We'll give it one try, and then probably just cry and move on. But this has 600,000 RF, and let's go ahead and break that. We put that in there. Input. Still needs more energy. Alright, let's break that. I'm not going to do that until I have this full. So, yeah, you know what? I think this is a good point as any to end the episode off. I'm too nervous to try to get... I don't want to lose all the power. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and hook that back up. And... says it needs more energy. We're gonna go grab a wrench real quick because we just dropped 1,000 EU into that. Let's go grab a wrench real quick, and we're gonna actually break the machine and then put it back. Now I believe, and I hate saying this because I don't remember. I should have wrote it down. But I believe we can use our pickaxe on the machines. I don't think that's a problem. But I'd rather not. Especially with things that are kind of expensive. So it's idling. This is still providing power. What we're going to do is we're going to actually disable that side for right now. So this should start getting power. And it's not going to get much power, but we're going to just kind of build up some power. The blast furnace is just kind of sitting there. That's fine. I wish there was an indicator. It has a little bit of power, but not much. We're going to get this to have a little bit of power. And if this doesn't work, then we will try again another time. But let's get those powered up. And it's just going to wait for a little bit. Now, this shouldn't be using any power yet. And it's not. It can't actually because it's not connected to anything. It's not receiving power. We could also just turn that off. Rather the output. And put that there. And then when we're ready to use it, we'll put the aluminum in there. And it's processing. It definitely can't keep up, but it is kind of constantly processing. And we lost it. Okay. We need to fill this up. And that's kind of what I'm gathering. Or we need more power sources. So let's just take this. And unfortunately, we lost that aluminum. It's fine. Let's go ahead and reset the machine, just in case. And then we will try this next time. So what I'm going to do is between episodes, I'm going to kind of organize this stuff a little bit better. Probably make some more conductive iron. Just kind of get more items so that crafting is a little bit easier. Probably even move the crafting over here. I might wait on that until we have a little bit more built up. Probably going to move the power down below. Maybe. Eventually, I would like it downstairs, or maybe we'll put automation downstairs. But we'll get things. I'll get another steam dynamo or two, and we'll start powering this guy up, and getting both of these guys kind of full of energy. And next time, we're going to actually use the blast furnace, and then we'll probably make more machines and continue on with that stuff. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We have power storage, RF power storage, which is really nice. It's going to enable us to kind of make more stuff later. It's going to require us to do less kind of babysitting to run our machines, which is nice. So that is kind of good. Might look into even seeing if there's any better power sources. I don't think there are right now, but later on we will encounter better stuff and we'll upgrade. But we have a lot of things to do, and so I'm going to do some prep work between episodes and we'll get back to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!